What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Hustling Sideways podcast, where we talk about people's side businesses, their passion projects, all sorts of things like that. I'm Alan Halas. I'm a music writer here in Milwaukee.
You sure are, and I'm Jim Love, and I'm a keynote and motivational speaker here in Milwaukee as well.
And it's episode 41.
41. We are in a new era, a new decade of episodes, and maybe not a new era, but a new.
You know what? I like the way you're going with it. New era for sure.
A whole restart. No, it's great. We're excited to be here. It is current. What is it? August, whatever day. Well, this won't be when they're listening. Either way, it's still nice out. It's like 75, which is my favorite weather in the world. I wish it was like
freezing by the time that this comes out.
That's a good point. So good luck when it's rainy and probably 50 today.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that it is rainy and 48 degrees today.
I'm gonna go with 51.
All right, we'll find out in a couple
weeks. And that's
going
to be a thing. We're going to put, I like this. This is a good weather wager in Milwaukee. I like that a lot.
We are still wearing the same clothes. That is also a thing.
Yes, and we are recording a lot today. And we're just going to be transparent about it. Because we needed to get some episodes in, and I came over and I said, let's knock them all out in one day, because Alan lives a little too far away from me to come twice in a week. So I was like,
I'm just going to other side of town.
Yes, I'm just going to do it. And in Milwaukee, that's 15 minutes, not like Chicago where it would be 45. But here we are. We're excited to be here, and we have a very special guest with us.
We got a great guest. I know him as DJ Alpine. Some of you may know him as Chris Schwartz.
And I do as of 5 minutes ago.
As of 5 minutes ago.
And other of you might know me as Dad.
Or Dad as well, yes.
I just want to address a lie. This has been a week of them recording these episodes, and they just haven't switched clothes. So
good. We also, we just kept bringing Alpine
over. We didn't get
as
transparent as we should have. Thank you for that.
We kept bringing
Alpine. The showers
Alpine.
have been limited.
Yeah. We kept bringing Alpine over every single day. We were like, you got to just show up tomorrow.
Yeah, and then we just drink a bottle of Hennessy, and no, just kidding.
It's been a ride. It's been a ride. We are obliterated right now. It's crazy.
So Alpine is not only a DJ extraordinaire. He is my DJ for Big Beat MKE, the beat battle that we do, as well as many other events in the city. You have a day job as a banker?
Yes. Recently transitioned this summer into being community outreach team lead for Tri-City National Bank. And that's been the coolest day job that I've had. I get to drive around a 67 Volkswagen bus.
Sweet.
And pop up at random events and everything.
That's you with the bus?
Yeah, that's me driving it. The Giant that doesn't fit in there quite well, that's me, yep.
Which has to be part of the shtick, I would imagine.
Yeah, 100%. It was like, we want it to look like somebody's driving a clown car, so who's the tallest person in Tri-City? And it was me, so they're like, he's on the job.
That's it.
Nice. Very awesome.
But then also, I assume you were going to mention this, but I'm going to steal your thunder.
Twitch streamer as well.
Yeah, Twitch streamer. Not a big following yet. Follow me, Topher 69, nicest streamer on Twitch. And I play a bunch of different games. That's more or less just so I can regiment my gaming, because I have a mad gaming addiction.
It's a great reason to develop.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, well, if I'm going to play this much games, I might as well
just beyond
make content with it.
Yeah.
What's your go-to game?
So right now, go-to game is Valorant, and I'm horrible at it. Placed bronze 2 in my first placements ever, but I'm new to mouse and keyboard gaming for first-person shooters. I'm also new to Valorant, but after playing Valorant, I used to be like mid-tier Call of Duty player, and then went back to Call of Duty on mouse and keyboard, and now I'm going like 30-5 every match. So definitely easier playing Call of Duty than Valorant. So if you're trying to up your Call of Duty game, play some Valorant. You will learn so much. Definitely worth it. But so I've just been doing that. I played a bunch of Elden Ring. I play Fall Guys. I play Call of Duty, Valorant. A lot of Magic the Gathering too. I'm a super nerd with that. One of the better players that I know. Not to be full of myself, but
no, that's fine. This is the place to do it.
You can toot your horn as much as you want.
I've used to go to tournaments and everything pre-COVID when I was in college and all that for Magic. Placed well there, and I still love the game, so I play it as much as I kind of can, and that's why I went to streaming. That way I can regiment and be like, I have 3 hours where I can play games today, and then tomorrow I'll play for 6 hours, and then I'll have 2 days of a break and then play more.
Solid. I like that. So we talk about kind of balancing, not only having your day job, but doing all these other things too with it. I want to talk to you about DJing and working, because I have been in the experience with you now where it's been like, where you've come straight from one to the other, and vice versa. I mean, well, I guess you probably haven't DJ'd and then gone to work.
No, we definitely have. Well, not straight from DJing to work, but we've definitely gone DJ'd all night. and then went over to a friend's house like an idiot, and then switched back into work clothes for like when I went to my house. Yeah, the next morning for 20 minutes, and then off to work.
Oh my God.
Those are so I have ADHD. I'm not taking these unprescribed, but that's the Adderall and Red Bull morning day. You know?
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Jeez. So a rough swing for sure. Let's back it up a little bit though. How did you get started DJing? Because I don't know if I actually know this part.
Yeah, this is a cute little story here. So Shlee Berry, good dear enemy of mine.
Shlee is a rapper formerly here in Milwaukee. Now she's in Arizona.
Yep.
As I've said, we have a love-hate where we love to hate on each other. And
Yes.
Which
so
is frankly like the most flattering thing you could say to someone.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's I always tell people, if I'm making fun of you, I like you. If I'm not doing that, you should worry a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. Right. Don't be too nice.
But yeah, so she started making music a long while ago, and I did. Oh God, I'm not going to say this on a podcast, am I? I did a couple of songs with her. I was actually rapping on a few of them. They're completely embarrassing. I hate listening to them, but they like to pull them out of the crates and torment me whenever possible.
We'll find some links.
Yeah, right.
Well, we're just gonna cut to the video. No, just kidding. We don't have it.
But yeah, so eventually I was like, okay, this isn't for me. I should have known that after my first try, but we tried it again. But yeah, so then she was just like, hey, I want to go on this journey with my best friends and everything. Is there something you could do? And eventually we stumbled across the idea of like, you have good music taste. Why don't you just DJ? And I was like, yeah, why don't I DJ? So I spent $200 on a little Pioneer board. I taught myself how to do it. And then throughout college, just did shows and stuff with her. Then eventually graduated to DJing for like the whole entirety of a hip hop show, not just her set, and then graduated from that to different events, weddings. Big Beat MKE was actually like my first big break that I had. And then
You're welcome.
Yes,
Yeah,
thank you. And from there, just met a bunch of other DJs, ran into a bunch of different opportunities, and now since COVID, like I'm picking up with DJing quite a lot now again. Where I'm again battling, how am I going to balance this with work? How am I going to balance this with Twitch streaming? How am I going to balance this with my family, my 2 dogs, my girlfriend? It's so time management is huge on that.
Right. Absolutely. So now I know.
Yeah.
Now I know that how you started.
Yeah.
I remember I needed when we started Big Beat MKE, I needed a DJ, I needed a filmer, and Shlee actually had messaged me and was like, I have everything for you. Like, I have everything. Yeah. And actually, I took a meeting with we know him as Gonzalez Visuals, our videographer.
Junior. Thickness.
Yeah, and did you say thickness?
Yeah, because he's got a thick ass neck. Don't ever lend him a shirt because it'll be bacon neck by the time he's done with it. It's horrible.
I took a meeting with him and I went on this whole long rant about like, you don't really have to play much, just like in between sets, like scratch if you want to, like do whatever you want. And then he stopped me and he's like, I'm not the DJ. And I was like, oh. And then that pointed me in the direction of you, which I don't know if we ever met.
Before then, we met at Attic Jams once. The Attic Jams where they weren't letting people in because it hit capacity and people were protesting burning books on the front lawn, so it got shut down.
Oh,
I was there for that.
Yeah,
I don't even remember this happening.
You might have dipped out before like that part started happening, but yeah, I remember Vaughn was supposed to perform there that night, and then it got closed down before he could.
What side of town was this?
East side. Yeah,
I was on the east side at a show.
Yeah, it was in the attic. Joe Quinto was the host.
Oh man,
it was a long while ago.
Alan's had a couple shows and hit
yeah, I don't remember it, but I'm gonna take your word for it.
Yeah, I remember because like Shlee introduced me to you, and I was like, he's a lot more white than I thought he was gonna be.
That's very honest.
I have that realization with him a lot.
Me the same. Yeah. I very much thought the same. No. Okay, so I don't remember meeting Alpine at all, but you just kind of came into our lives and started as a DJ, and we just trusted you with rocking shows right from the start.
Yeah, I don't know why you did, but I'm glad that you did.
I think we didn't have anyone else.
Yeah,
we
that's
were like,
fair.
all right.
Yeah, like just the couple of weeks for DJing for that event, I was downloading like 100 songs for each one, and like it forced me. I have a bad habit of procrastination sometimes, but it forced me to be like, okay, I'm not going to embarrass myself here. What am I going to do? How am I going to spin this? Was it? Yeah, it was like right before there. I think we formally like met and did a show for 414 Day. Because that's where I'm.
Yes.
Because
that is where I remember.
Yeah, Twan Mac,
Vincent
Van Great, and Yogi B and Keys were the performers for that. And that was my second time DJing for Yogi B and Keys, and the start of a good friendship there. And yeah, I just remember like I started getting a sense of when to cut music for when people were singing along with their songs and everything, and like that bolstered a bunch of my confidence there. So I was like, I could probably do the big beat, and worked on my mixing from there on out. And it definitely, like, from the beginning of that big beat to the end, my confidence level and my ability was like a night and day difference, I think. So I learned so much from that experience.
I didn't know that I contributed this much to this.
Pretty well, yeah.
So getting your kind of feet under you as a DJ, those first couple shows, like learning it, like when did you start kind of transitioning into doing like other events as far as like weddings and whatever else? Like when's the first time somebody hit you up about that?
So the first
that wasn't me.
The first wedding that I did, was it the Madison one? I think it was. It was out in Madison. Somebody had approached me because they knew me as a DJ. It was a photographer here in Milwaukee. And he was like, hey, somebody asked me to DJ their wedding. I'm going to point them in your direction. This is how much that they were going to offer me, but you can charge more than that. And I was like, okay, cool. Definitely like that. And that was, man, like 3-4 years ago. And it's way easier to DJ a wedding than you probably think. You just hook up the speakers and the sound and everything, have your audio all good to go, and then just play the entire song of what they want to hear, and you take requests.
Right.
That's it.
How often are you like, guys, I know people have requests that are just like outrageous. Or you like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just like, read the room, guys. Like, somebody wanted to hear Lips of an Angel by Hinder.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah,
at a wedding. And I was like, that's a song about cheating.
Yeah,
like, we're going to ignore that request.
It's also a horrific song. It's just not a good song.
Yeah, it doesn't fit with the party atmosphere at all.
No, especially not a loving wedding atmosphere. It's like, oh, hey, my wife's in the other room right now. I can't really talk on the phone.
That's what that song was about. So maybe not.
Yep. But yeah, the other people, when the wedding party specifically requested like Michael Jackson and Prince and stuff like that, which I totally get down with. Some people are like, play Disturbed. I'm like, I think you might be exactly that. All right.
Yeah,
that's great.
That is crazy.
Do you follow, like, as I know, like for my wedding, like we kind of like we're talking to DJ about what we wanted, and there was like a script that they sort of followed. Like to start off, there's like 3 or 4 songs. To end, there's like the 3 or 4 songs. Like, is that kind of how you roll too when it comes?
100%. I with how much that. Like it's their day. It's not for me to show off. It's not for me to show my ability as a DJ. It is for me to cater to them for a wedding. So I have them make a playlist of songs that they want to hear. I get a general vibe from that playlist and then add songs that I think would be a good addition on top of that, and have them lay out. This is the father-daughter dance. This is the last dance. This is the song we want to walk out to. This is and then I MC it too, introducing everybody. So I have them write out everyone's name, how to pronounce it. I go over that with somebody in the wedding party, so I know exactly how to say everything. And so it's a lot of little tedious work like that. So it's a night and day difference DJing a wedding versus DJing like in a club or something.
It's funny because, like, in my opinion, the DJ is the most important part of a wedding. They can make or break the entire party, and it obviously sounds like you make the most of the parties that you're at.
You definitely so that's something that I feel like I realize is a very big strength of mine, and why with DJing is being able to get a read on the crowd and be like, oh, you liked this song, so I'm gonna pull this one out. And it's in the same realm, but maybe just a little bit farther of a push. And if you rock with that, then you just can't wait till I got after the so
that's great.
That's one of my biggest assets as a DJ, and I've always gone into DJing with not a plan at all. I go in there and I'm like, let me put some songs out there, some throwbacks, and just like as feelers to see what's going. Because like even if you're not in love with the song, you still know it and you're not upset that it's playing. And then when I see what people react to more, when a couple of people move out onto the dance floor and start dancing with it, and I'm like, oh, so you guys are gonna be this type of crowd today. Let's go with this route then. Where I've seen DJs, I have these 50 songs, and I'm gonna go from this song to this song, and then this song to that song, and it's just like, if people aren't liking it, you're stuck. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
So I always bring like thousands of songs along with me on my laptop.
At a wedding once. This was relatively maybe a year ago or so, and the DJ played like 2 songs in a row that were awesome, and the room was like about to explode, and then he would just switch into like something, and I was like, dude, like you had us like stay there, like, and he was like, all right, like here's this slow song, and it's like we were just on Cascada, like like every time we touched was happening, like you gotta just play that. It was, oh man, it was so frustrating, and so it's amazing how different that is.
Yeah, so that's something that you have to take in consideration for a wedding too, because it's not like a club where everyone just wants to dance all the time.
Right.
Where with a club you want to build up and up and up and up. With a wedding you want to build up, but then start bringing it back down, but not just like a straight transition and everything. Right. So like if you're hitting every time we touch, then maybe after that play something along the lines of like a Michael Jackson, Billie Jean or something where people are like still gonna dance to it, but it's definitely lower energy.
Totally. Right.
And then you can move into something that's gonna be a slower song after 2 or 3 songs after that. You know, that way people have time to not just like be disappointed and have the dance floor empty, but the people are like, oh, I'm just here to party. They're going to be like, okay, I'm going to get a drink, but there's still a full dance floor out there.
Right.
You know, and then you go into a slower song and people that want to do the slow dance come out to the dance floor. And it's not just like people subbing in and out. Like
a line change, like hockey.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's about the flow of the night. Immensely. And then if you're playing requests and everything, that's kind of the realm of when it's like, okay, I might have a stronger or more stark transition here, but it's something that was requested 3 times throughout the night, so I know people want to listen to it.
Yeah.
So that type of stuff is more okay. So it's all about reading the crowd and making the night flow well. And at the end of every wedding that I've ever DJ'd, the mom, the groom, the random people that just showed up to crash the wedding and everything all come up to me and be like, you did an amazing job. We had so much fun. The dance floor was like always the place to be.
Right.
It's the best compliment ever, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's at. That's great.
Oh, I just want to mention this because it's the best compliment anybody's ever given me. At the Big Beat a couple of years ago, I was playing stuff for like the 15 or 30-minute little
while we break down stuff. Or, in between.
Yeah. And Alan comes up to me, and because that's more of like a party, high energy hip hop show, he comes up to me and he was like, why do I feel like every time you DJ, you're just like, how fast can I get like girls to shake their ass? And I'm like, because that's if girls are on the dance floor, guys are on the dance floor. that is honestly, the key.
Like, so this last tournament that we had people dancing up in like the balcony.
Oh yeah.
We had people dance, and it's like as soon as like there's certain songs, certain tempos that you just know get people dancing
right away.
No matter what, no matter what your environment is. Yep. You know, if you're in that, it helps that you're in a bar, in a club atmosphere.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, as soon as one act got off the stage and he started DJing, we were playing stuff that like just immediately turns things into a party. Yep. So, I mean, reading the room like that though, when did you learn to do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how many like shows in or events in before you really were like, okay, I kind of know how to judge people, because that's like part of it is judging the room.
It was a couple of events that I got booked for that I shouldn't have been the DJ for.
Okay.
Like things like I went and DJ'd at Sabbatic.
Yep.
Right.
Which is a punk bar.
Yes,
punk rock bar.
Punk rock metal bar. Okay, why am I the hip hop DJ?
Yeah.
Hip hop open format DJ
For some
going
reason,
there.
Cascada is like now in my head, and like I'm visioning this, even though it was my own example, but carry on.
So yeah, like when I got there, I was just like, oh no. No. Why am I here? So then I had to be hyper focused on how people are reacting to songs.
Right.
And I had to be like, what in the world am I going to play that it's going to resonate with someone?
Yeah.
And so that's when I really noticed like my ability to point out a group of people.
Okay.
And be like, okay, these guys seem like they're here to have a good time. If I can't get them to enjoy it, I'm not going to get anybody to enjoy it.
Okay.
So then I will play something, read the room, but then focus on them a little bit more.
Sure.
And be like, oh, okay, so this person knows this song, and they're pulling somebody off to get onto the dance or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so this might be the route to go. Let's throw out a couple more little feelers. And then that's when you want to do quick transitions. Because you don't want it to get boring. You don't want to play one song for too long if it's not hitting or anything. So that's when you move through, and then all of a sudden you play something and then people just light up.
Okay.
And you're like, oh, finally. Okay, thank you. This is what I need to do.
Yeah.
It's a science.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
and I'm seeing similarities. Like, so I speak to high school and college students, and when I'm on stage speaking, it is very much that. Like, I'm noticing who's reacting to me positively. Yep. I'm noticing who's like not into it, and I'm focusing on those who are positive. And then from there, I go deeper and I go deeper. And I mean, it's totally like you have to read people, and if you're not reading the room, like I'm gonna fail every time.
Yep, 100%.
Like completely get that. Like, and it's exhausting sometimes because you're really focusing, and then when you're done, you realize like either that was great or like I need to work on it. And I know you've probably had many takeaways like that too.
Oh, 100%. And if anyone's out there trying to start DJing or they're a hip hop artist or whatever, just realize that the things that you're critical, like very critical about on yourself, a lot of people don't notice. That doesn't mean say, oh, I did it and that's great and everything. Like, definitely go home and be like, I need to work on this. I realized I was struggling with this. Yeah. But realize that a lot of people didn't notice that transition was bad, or that you cut this music out too early and it sounded a little choppy or anything. People don't... Like, just the average Joe that's there drinking and having a good time.
The majority don't notice.
Yeah, don't notice at all.
Yeah,
like, I've been to clubs in Waukesha, not saying anything bad about Waukesha at all, okay?
It's not necessarily, it's a different crowd.
Yeah, so I've been there, and the DJ's transitions make me want to, like, pull off each one of my fingernails one by one, right? Because that would be more of an entertaining time for me. But the people that are there don't care. They don't notice. They like the songs. And then that goes back to, what is your song choice?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A time that sticks out most heavily in my mind for when I had to lean on song choice the most. My first time DJing at Plum Lounge for Plum Day Monday. It was a
club.
It was a club.
Hip hop.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a club.
Yes.
It was more house.
Yeah, hip hop house.
It's an interesting place.
EDM.
In Cathedral Square, right?
Yeah, hookah lounge and everything. And so I was there, and I had a 30-minute slot alongside a bunch of other DJs. They did it to build the DJ community and have people come out and get some experience in an actual club setting. I have never DJed on the equipment that they had there. They had CDJs there and a Pioneer mixer in the middle. And I'm used to my boards where I know where all my transition effects and everything are. And on there, I had no idea how to implement them, no idea at all, like what was going on with it. So I was like, okay, my transitions are going to be minimal. I don't know how to stuff. I don't know how to echo it out or apply a filter that I'm going to like and everything. So I was like, what am I going to do to combat that? So another, like, the thing for DJing in general and being a good effective DJ is thinking on your feet, making something work, right? Whether that's with chords that you do or don't have, or not being like able to work the boards how you want to, or having something like technical issues with something. You have to be able to adapt. That is this one example is when I realized I am able to adapt and make the most out of it. Every DJ before me was playing house music. I don't DJ house music often. I didn't bring house music with me on my flash drive to play. So I had an Apple Watch on, and it's telling me, hey, your heart rate's unusually high for the amount of activity you're doing. And I was like, yeah, I know, I'm nervous. Get off my back, okay? Every DJ that's there is super supportive, and they're like, you're going to crush it. Like, don't listen to yourself here. Like, you are going to go up there, do your thing, and be amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, thanks. I know you're just saying that, though. But I got up there. I was actually, like, shaking. Actually 100% physically shaking. And I played, I switched from whatever house song they had on to just an overall good hip hop song, right?
Sure.
And then I transitioned from that into a different hip hop song, choppy transition. I was like, okay, definitely let's do more basic stuff here. When that song came on, 2 people moved to the dance floor. And I was like,
you're starting.
I was like, okay. I think I can work with this now. Built a little bit of confidence. I stopped shaking, and I was like, just focus in. Like, do my thing, and I'll be okay here.
Right.
So I remember going from that, and I was like, what song can I play that everybody fucking loves? Pardon my French here. And I landed on California Love. Okay. And so I faded one song out, figured out how the echo worked, and just echoed it out and left it blank for a second and just smiled at the people out in the bar. And they just kind of look up at me after they realized there was no music playing. And then I cued in the California Love, and people went crazy. There was actually a hip-hop dance group that was at Plum that day.
That happened to be there, and they were just waiting for somebody.
15 people that were in there come to the dance floor and start just getting down in the craziest way I've ever seen. And then I was just at home. I calmed down. I was like, okay, this is easy mode here now. So I played just some of the best hits and like club bangers and stuff that other people weren't playing because they're playing all house.
Right.
And so I'm up there, and people are other DJs that I'm cool with now. They come up and they're enjoying me doing my thing behind me and everything. And then just like Austin homewrecker, Austin McCula, he comes up and starts cutting out the music when people are screaming some stuff and throwing it back on when I'm looking for the next song and just having fun with me. And everybody else after I got done, they were like, holy cow, like thank you, because of you doing that tonight, the rest of the night is going to be amazing. You brought people out to the dance floor, you built the energy up from what was happening before, and now we all know where to go from here. Right?
Awesome.
So
and like you carved out your own like presence too, because that made people like get who you are as a DJ.
100%.
The music that you bring.
That validation too, like I know the moment of like leading up to it, and then you get the small progress, and it's like, wait a minute, this is exactly what I should be doing. That has to feel so good.
It was like honestly probably the best feeling I've had DJing, just cool. Like solo and everything. It's
like when you go from, you mentioned like California Love, and then you go to the next sound, like is that in your head of what you know is going to work like with the same type of themes, or do you have that written down somewhere? Or like how you just have it, it's in there, and
it's not in my head by any means. I know some songs that work well together and some transitions that are cool that I've done in the past or figured out, but a lot of the times I'm just scrolling through like, what should I play next? Like, where am I going from here? How spicy am I feeling right now?
Pressure of like, because you have 3 minutes or 4 minutes to like pick that. Like,
I mean, so what I do a lot of the time, so there is a little bit of pressure, absolutely, but it goes to me. I know I'm playing California Love next, and then before I even transition into California Love, I'm like, what's my next song after that? Okay. What are some choices that I have here? Outline a couple of them in my head and everything. Play California Love, see how that goes, and be like, okay, of these 4 choices, I know this one's going to be the best now based on their reaction.
Fun. That's such a blast.
It's so much fun because it's like it's freeing. You have different possibilities. You don't have to do the same thing, and you just like open it up to how do I want to move this energy,
right?
And how do I want to build on it? Do I want to throw them for a loop a little bit and throw something a little bit slower on, and then bring in something with a creative mix, to something else? So one of my favorite ones was playing "Lean on Me," and then into "Lean On" by Major Lazer.
Okay,
right?
Oh, nice.
Or I totally stole this transition off of TikTok, so shout out TikTok, whoever the DJ was. But playing just like a creative transition, playing WAP. And when she says, "I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you how I got this ring." So you loop the "I don't cook, I don't cook, I don't cook," and then bring in Lamborghini Mercy with the okay.
That's
so
sweet.
It goes cook, and you go okay, and then bring in Lamborghini Mercy, and people are just mind blown.
That's awesome.
And it's like stuff like that. It's like, how creative can you be? How can you do wordplay with it? Like I played Moody's song "Drop," or I think it's the word "top." Whatever
drop is the main hook. Yeah.
She's like, "When I'm a drop," and then I echoed that out with "drop, drop, drop," and then bring in Tory Lanez "The Drop That Ass." You can't know. Like stuff like that. It's awesome. Just like how creative can you get? People love that stuff, and it builds the energy so well. And then even if they're not a fan of the one song you're playing, they're impressed by the creativeness of what you brought there. Exactly. And then they're just like in the palm of your hand, and wherever you go from there, they're gonna be just like much more excited about it.
I don't want to switch gears, but are you finding like this road, this passion, like what you're carrying away? Does it find itself in your day job at all? Like, do you find that the lessons you're taking away, or like the moments you're having, are influencing any
maybe
part
the
of what
connecting
you're doing?
with people, but not the
like is there anything I feel, because I like maybe bringing the energy, or like finding different ways to do things, or getting creative, like you said, thinking on your feet, like those types of things. That you see that kind of coming into what you do in 9 to 5.
100%, yes. But it's more of the overall like themes, so to speak.
Sure. Yeah.
So like thinking on your feet, being able to adapt to anything.
Yeah.
That's something that I have used in my daily life, not even just my 9 to 5.
General.
So that's something that me and Shlee have done for all of our shows, because something would always go wrong, whether that be for a show, for a music shoot, for recording, anything and everything will go wrong. So we have had to think on our feet and be like, okay, well, this place didn't work out. What are we going to do now? We're still gonna do it, but we just have to adjust. Obviously, same thing with work. If something's not working, or something breaks down, or whatever the case may be.
because you're out at events for stuff. You're out and about.
So it's just like, okay, well, this event, we don't have any space for anything. People aren't stopping and interacting with us. How are we going to generate this engagement now?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, I know that we came in here with this mentality and thinking that this is the way we're going to do things. It's not working. So now where do we go?
Yeah, switch
so that is something that is like invaluable to just your 9 to 5, to your daily life.
That's such a good takeaway. I have to. I always like putting an Al McGuire quote in everything. And Al McGuire once said, like, you won't be a good coach until you throw away your game plan 4 minutes into it because you realize you were incorrect.
Yep.
You were wrong. Like, and that's important. Like in life, like if you're like, this isn't going to work, to your point, like if we're not getting engagement, we got to switch it up.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I can imagine as a DJ, that's like so spot on. Like if that's not working, move on to the next thing.
Exactly. And don't let the failure of your plan affect the rest of what you're going to do, right? So when you're thinking of accounting and all of that, right? There's sunk costs. So those are costs that you've already spent that you can't take into consideration for what you're going to do next. Because otherwise you're going to be like, oh, well, I've already put in this much doing this. I have to continue. Otherwise, all that money was wasted. No, you're just going to end up wasting more money by doing that same thing. So ignore the costs of what you already spent. Ignore that you've put 3 hours putting together this game plan and it's not working. Just move on to the next thing and find something that works.
You are the first DJ that has ever brought up accounting ever. I just want you to know that. Absolutely.
We're making history on this.
Yeah. There has definitely never been a DJ that has been like, you know where I get some influence? Accounting. No, but to your point, I have seen this live in action. I saw it this year when we had a night where everything completely melted down on his laptop. Oh, sure. Everything just broke. Yeah. And like the Wi-Fi was out and like there was no like the night was in question.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah.
He went in and fixed whatever he had to fix. Like we were looking up stuff on YouTube, like looking up like what to do.
Was this while music was supposed to be playing?
Yep. Yeah. This was like easily within the hour before the event was supposed to go. Like the really start.
Yeah. So music was already supposed to be playing, and we were supposed to be gearing up, loading up people's music and everything. The
whole laptop crashed.
Yeah, it was absolutely horrible. But then it's just like, okay, let's look on some blogs. What do people say? What are some forums going to say that I should do and everything? And try every single option that there is. And eventually something worked. And even though
time too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just like, all right, this isn't working. Don't freak out too much.
Yeah. The panic mode never works.
Yeah. No.
It's
so
like, let's get together.
Something I learned from my environmental science class is if you're ever stuck in the woods, let me ask you guys, what's the number one thing that's important for you to have if you're stuck in the woods for you to survive?
I would guess water.
Man. So water's number 2. Food is number 3.
Fire?
Shelter is number 4. Nope. Positive mental attitude.
That's
because if you
I should know that.
If you are convinced that you are not going to make it, you're right.
You won't.
If you're convinced that you're going to make it, I'm not going to say 100% true. That's true, but like you have to act as if
that's a good point.
As if you are going to make it. Otherwise, you won't.
Right.
You know. So tell yourself everything's fine. I just have to do this, this, and this, and then I'm going to be all right. Yeah. Whether or not that's true, you are taking the necessary steps for things to work out.
Sure.
So that's exactly what we had to do that night. So I could have been like, it's not working, Alan. We have to call it. That's it.
Yeah.
And then the night would have been over. Or we can say, no, this is going to work. We're fine. We have a little bit of time here. Let's just figure out what's going on. Take the steps to make it work, and it worked. Yeah. So that's exactly
such a good takeaway.
I'm glad you were positive about it. I was freaking out. I was freaking out the whole time.
So me too, inside, but like
I just externally you're like, we gotta figure. We'll figure it out. Let's make it work.
Like the number of times like someone's gotten hurt or something, or like I've had so many different surgeries and stuff like that. And instead of just being like, oh, I'm done for and this is horrible, it's just like, no, like I'm fine.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just have to find somebody that can help me fix this.
Right.
You know?
It's funny. I've done like several keynotes where like the microphone either doesn't work or just like goes out, and I'm like, guess I'm gonna shout this one. You know, and it's like I'm here, I got time, and I'm like, can you all hear me? Okay, like sound, you know, and I'm losing my voice by the end, but like that's what I had to do.
100%.
And you just make it work. You just figure it out and make it work. I love that.
That's the takeaway from this, is just figure it out.
It is. Make it work. I like it. Yes, and also that like I can't wait to come watch you DJ. That's my second takeaway.
A situation on the inverse of that, where I've seen somebody specifically DJing not have something work. There was a competition to see the winner of this DJ competition was going to go on to DJ Dance Pavilion over on the Summerfest grounds.
Okay.
And the second DJ that was going on was using equipment that she was unfamiliar with, and when she loaded up a song, if she hit just the play button on it, it would kick back to the first song that she loaded up.
Okay.
And so she played just 2 songs the entire time, flipping back and forth between the 2 because she was unwilling. That's all she
could do.
She was unwilling to try other options.
Oh my gosh!
Saying like, this should work. Why isn't this working? It's not working. I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And then during when that was happening, I went up and tried just creating a cue point before you hit play, and then holding the cue point makes it play from that spot, and then hitting the play button will allow it to play for the rest of the time. So when I did that, it worked.
Yeah.
And I was like, do this. And she was like, that's not how I do things. And I was like, well, it has to be now.
It's going to happen.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So
for
instead
this situation,
no worse things to say. That's not how I do things.
Yes. Like, so I was like, well,
it's about to be.
You either play these 2 songs or you do the thing that works and you make the most of it. Whether that ruins some transitions or not, deal with it. That's where you're at right now. So like that, they literally only played the 2 songs, and they were a good DJ too. You could hear between the 2 songs that they mixed back and forth, back and forth.
They practice right there. Yeah.
Right.
But destroyed by their own mental attitude about the situation.
Absolutely. Let's pivot real quick, and we're gonna talk Twitch streaming. This is relatively new for you.
Yep.
You said so you can monitor your gameplay from it too. What are the early experiences in it? Like, what have you learned, and what have you pulled from DJing that could possibly go into the Twitch streaming side of things? There's tech, there's all sorts of stuff involved there too.
Oh God, yeah. So there's so much tech and everything involved there. So again, thinking on your feet if something's not working, making the most out of it. But specifically with Twitch streaming, you have to be interactive. You have to be talking and communicating, and that's a very big aspect that's on Twitch streaming that you don't have to deal with when DJing too much. You're not talking to the crowd like the entire time and everything. So the thinking on your feet for if you're playing like a game or something and then it crashes, it's not working, your capture card that you use to capture the video and everything stops working, what are you going to do?
Right.
So when I was starting, I tried my PlayStation 5 and couldn't get that to work at all.
Okay.
Live on stream, I'm just struggling here with the PlayStation and everything.
Yeah.
And the capture card's not working, and I don't know how to make this work and everything. And it's like, okay, you know what? Instead of struggling with this and not having it work and having no one care what I'm doing because I'm just doing tech stuff here, let's just buy the game on Steam and play it on there.
Yeah.
I hooked up my controller to my computer, figured out how to map the controls to it and everything, and played from there. And did I have to start the game over? Yes. Did that bother me? No.
In the grand scheme of things, it worked out because now you have something that you know how to create and build and whatever.
Yep. And so like Schlee is a big influence on this mindset, is if I don't know how to do something, instead of like going and finding someone and paying somebody to do it, I'm just going to figure it out.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. Right, that's the best.
So,
there's always ways. If someone has done it before, and you can always figure out there's ways.
There's so much knowledge on
YouTube
and online and Reddit and everything.
There's almost like too much. Like there's just
it's
literally everywhere is out there. You could just go get it. Yeah.
Right.
So that's something I even did in college. Instead of going to class and learning what a tariff was for the 15th time, I skipped class because it was boring, and taught myself the material that I didn't know just through YouTube's videos, watching and using the outline of what the exam was going to be.
Yeah.
And teaching myself everything the night before the exam.
Wow.
Yeah,
we would not recommend that process.
I was going to say,
but it worked out for you.
Learn your way.
Yeah.
But for me specifically, I'm smart. I know I am. It's not me gloating or anything. I am exceedingly intelligent when it comes to like knowing what overall themes are and how to work with things. I've always been gifted with math and all of that. And sitting there, especially with ADHD in a classroom setting where I can't do anything to appease my brain and this going over the same information that I understand because other people don't understand it yet, I check out immediately.
Yeah.
And so that didn't work for me. I need fast-paced information after information, and on YouTube videos, I can just skip to whatever I need.
Right.
Looking through the outline, I can say, I know this, and this, but I don't know these things, so let's focus on these. Instead of being in class, I have to go through everything. So that is how I learned, and this is something that it's a gripe I have with the education system right now. It's a one-size-fits-all type of system, and that's not how people need to learn. Some people need to learn.
People are learning now in different ways. I'm a visual thinker. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Yeah.
And so for me, I like to be walked through the process once and then try the process by myself with a reference and then try it without the reference.
Right.
So for math and everything like that, like that's what YouTube videos were great for. So I would work through the problem that they're working through in the video. And then I would look at the study guide or whatever, and it has a problem. Okay, let me try to work through this with the reference of this YouTube video. Now let's try the next problem without it. Do I understand how to get it done? No, I don't. Let's go through it again. Or yes, I do. Okay, let's try it 2 more times to prove to myself I absolutely do, and move on to the next thing.
Right.
So like that's how I learned. I figured that out, and I didn't have to go to class to do that. There was actually a professor for my database analytics class, one of the easiest classes I've ever taken, because it was just like,
that does not sound easy.
It was like, here's a spreadsheet, and use these data points, create a graph, and make assumptions based off of that data.
Okay.
And I knew how to make a graph from Excel, from my Excel class that I had. And I was like, okay, then I just look at the numbers and be like, well, this thing worked the most. It has the best correlation between sales and the use of it and everything. So super easy stuff. I went to the first day of class to go through the syllabus. I went to the first exam day and the last exam day. And nothing in between. After my second exam, my professor pulls me aside and is like, you got a good grade on your first exam. I don't know how, because you haven't been in class. If I find out that you cheated, you're going to be expelled. And I said, just because I don't need to go to your class does not mean I am cheating. You can ask my other professors or anything. I actually learn by myself.
That's amazing. Okay, we've learned a lot here. You've touched on a lot here. Speed, versatility, all sorts of crazy things. For somebody that's got a side hustle or a side business, if you had to pick one quality that you're like, this is your thing, like you should focus on this, what do you think you would probably say first?
First, realize the things that you're good at and find a way to maximize that through everything.
Okay.
So with like Twitch streaming, banking, and DJing, I'm good at reading people and seeing how they're reacting to what I'm doing and then making a change based on that. So whether that be how I'm interacting with a customer when I'm in the teller line or something. Oh, they don't like when I talk too much to them or ask them too many things. They might, it might just be because it's an early morning, or it could be because they just don't like talking or whatever. Let's change that next time to make a better experience for them.
Okay.
When I'm DJing, oh, they don't like this type of music or whatever the type is. And then you find something that works. Like, okay, now I can go this route. If it's like streaming for me, it's like, okay, when I play these types of games and everything, these are the type of people that I get into my chat and everything. So maybe I will interact with them this way. So because there's games that have a younger audience or games that have a more quote unquote nerdy audience and everything, and I can make jokes about Nintendo that they get that the kids won't or something.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So different stuff like that. Just read the like that's something I realize that I'm good at, and I try to maximize everywhere.
Nice.
So don't focus on what you're horrible at. Obviously, try to build on that and improve, but take your assets and make the most out of them, and you will find the biggest margin of gain there, as opposed to keeping those at the same level and not focusing on them or not trying to maximize those and just focusing on the things that you're bad at. Because then if you're only focused on that, you're telling yourself mentally, I'm bad at these things. I need to work on them. And then that's a negative thought process. And don't say that you're bad at them. Be like, I'm improving on this. I am maximizing the things that I'm good at and making the most out of that. So then I am able to take the leeway or from that margin of gain I just got to improve on the things that need work.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
great.
This has been great.
Yes.
If they want to find you, they want to follow you, where's the best place to do it? I'm stealing it. You know where I steal this from is from Twan Mack. He always at the end of every interview is like, where do they find you?
Yeah, we're getting popping like fish grease.
Yeah, that's another Twan
I
Mack.
like that. I like that.
Ism. Yeah.
But if they want to find you, where do they go ahead and find you?
So you can find me on Instagram at Topher69. That's my moniker for Twitch streaming, and soon the rebrand for my DJing as well.
Okay.
Little peek at that there.
Teaser.
Yeah. Yep. And you can find me on Twitch at the same thing. You can find me at Twitter on the same thing. And if you want to find me on Facebook, just my personal one, it's Topher Schwartz. Otherwise, Facebook won't let me switch my DJ name on there.
So you're Alpine there.
So it's still DJ Alpine. I don't really use that too much. So if you want to send me a DM on anything, a Discord as well, Topher69.
Okay.
So find me on Instagram. I'm open for private events for DJing. I'm open for streaming with other people as well. So if you're a Twitch streamer and looking to collaborate, I'm down for that. I love playing with other people. It gives me someone to chat with instead of just looking at text the entire time. So that's always fun.
Absolutely. Well, this is awesome. If you're listening to this podcast for the first time, thank you. You can subscribe to us at Hustling Sideways. We are everywhere. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well as YouTube. And if you got a side hustle of your own, you can send us an email. You can be on this show. So send us an email. It is hustlingsideways@gmail.com. Thanks so much for doing this.
Of course.
Thank you.
And we are out of here.
So, guys, keep on hustling.